Hi, I'm Wendy Nelson. Welcome to Forest Escape. I decided to create a few videos talking about our journey and how we got to where we are right now with God's blessing. Hi. When you think about the reasons for wanting to escape into the forest and be separate, the reasons are plenty, but the number one reason is to be in nature where it's peaceful and there is no chaos and you're closer to God. You have quiet time, you prioritize things differently, you think about life differently. It's really a new kind of life. It's a lifestyle change to decide to leave the city and live in the countryside, or to stop relying on social circles and become more private. The seclusion and the remoteness are important because in that journey of developing a place to live, you are finding out what you're made of. So you find out, can you handle it? How much is too much? How many things can you learn? And we've learned a lot. And we've done so many things we had no idea how to do them, but we did them anyway. We learned how, we experimented, we succeeded, we failed, we succeeded. It's an ongoing quest to handle everything that we need to handle. I'm lucky because I work in my home, and I pretty much have worked in my home all of my life. I've had a few jobs that were outside the home, but basically having my own business and being self-employed, I was able to prioritize family and to be able to do things as a stay-at-home mom that were really important. And I'm lucky because my daughter-in-laws also have decided to do that. And stay-at-home moms are wonderful because they're forming the next generation of children. And those children have guidance at all moments. They have nutritious food. They have clean homes. They have pets. There are all kinds of good things that stay-at-home moms can make happen. I'm not saying anything against moms who work, because I worked part of the time that I had kids outside the home. But when you're self-employed, you can make money doing whatever it is you have skills for. You don't have to work for someone else, but nowadays you can have a home office and you can be employed by a company and work from home. It's really good. But I think that having this way of life, being able to have gardens and to be able to fix things and build things, it's really, really special, and it's not very common nowadays. So if you don't prioritize owning things, because things end up owning you, then you're more about the quality time, the quiet time, the family time, the nutritious meals, building things, having hobbies. There are all kinds of things you could do. Write a book, any number of things, study photography. It's so much fun to have freedom instead of being employed somewhere where you don't have flexible hours or you have to be gone long hours. So this kind of life means spending less money because you have less money, but the quality of life and the balance, the work-life balance, is under control. So if you are at home and you are doing some kind of work, you balance that with your family time, your sleep time, your exercise time, and it's a better quality of life. You're going to end up being healthier. For sure, you don't have to go to the fitness station and work out, because in the homestead there's always 50-pound bags of feed to carry, or 20-pound, 40-pound bags or pails of cat litter for the cats, 50 pounds of salt for the slippery, icy sidewalk and stairs. There are always construction projects where you're carrying lumber and you're drilling, or uh, building or cutting, and of course getting firewood, carrying 40-pound pieces of wood over and over and over, and sometimes up a hill, and then unloading to split and then stack. You're getting plenty of exercise. We always wanted to have 30 acres of property and live in the middle of it and, not see people and just see animals. That was something we always wanted. And God gave us 43 acres, and we now have 30, and we gave our oldest son 13. And he helped us build our house, so it was fair. And then he put a house there. And our youngest son, if he wants property, we'll give him property so he can build something here. So the idea is a dream of land that is family owned with everybody together enjoying this kind of life. And, we wouldn't trade it for anything. This is something that we've always wanted, and our dream has finally come true. It's been a lot of work, multiple years getting the house built and the garden fenced in and the greenhouse built and the chicken coop built. All kinds of different work on the roads and having the erosion stop and the drainage be correct, and all of that kind of work, trying multiple gardens in different areas that didn't work. Yeah, all kinds of learning lessons for sure. The original roads were mud, and we didn't have enough gravel, and it was expensive to have more gravel, and there were ticks in the forest. So we had little insects that were difficult to remove, and we didn't know anything about ticks and turkey mites, so that was a real adventure. The original build was planned to be 2 stories, and there's a loft, and it's a gambrel roof, so there's as much space on the second floor as possible without having separate walls and a roof. So this is the original design of the cabin. It's 32 feet wide and 24 feet deep, and it's 2 floors. So you come in the back door and you can turn into the dining room and living room, go out the front porch, and the view down into the forest is down here. You have a nice big bathroom, bedroom, and kitchen. If you go up the stairs, then you're on the loft, and this is my husband's office and my office. He did build the partition and the door, so there are 2 private offices. And someday, when I get rid of all the stuff on the loft, the storage, we'll be able to sit there and drink coffee and see down into the living room and see out the trapezoid windows that are in the high ceiling in the living room. So when it was buttoned up, it had the metal roof and the windows and the walls and the front porch. And from there, we had to stain it. And we put the water cisterns under the house and enclosed that gap. We had no water at that time, so you had to transport water in 275-gallon containers in the back of the truck. So from being buttoned up on the outside to finishing the inside, it was about 38 days to get it livable with a functional kitchen, bathroom, and bedroom. So this is the original forest escape photograph looking out the front on a foggy day. And over here you can see the truck with the big 275-gallon tank that we would go and fill up and then bring the water to the house to fill the cisterns. But this is the peace and the quiet that we originally fell in love with. and treasure. This is our sanctuary. I work on the internet also, and I'm teaching, people in other countries. And basically, they all have the same desire to move from the city to the countryside and to simplify life and to not be a slave to credit cards and materialistic things. You know, the idea of a tiny house or minimalism, that's very attractive to people all around the world. And that means we're switching over from money to time. You can either have time or money. You normally can't have both. So now quality time with family seems to be gaining popularity, and the money and the debt and all of that is losing popularity. People don't care so much about the materialistic things or the prestige. They just would like to have quality food and time with family and a simple life. You know, that's universal. It isn't just in the United States. So it's my opinion that if you look for good things, you will see good things. You might see bad things at the same time, but you don't focus on them. You know, you just concentrate on the good things, whatsoever is pure and lovely and good, you know, instead of what could be negative and bad and evil. Yeah, you have to be aware that it's there. Watch and pray. We're called to watch and pray. So we watch and we pray. But we don't focus or saturate ourselves with all of the negativity and all of the bad things. You know, that's not healthy. So if you look for good things, you see good things. You know, it's the glass half full or the glass half empty. I prefer to always see the glass half full. I'm thinking about what I have, not what I don't have. When we first got this land here, we bought it from an Amish man. He is really sweet. And he made sure that our dreams came true. When we first appeared in the land here, we looked and the road was muddy and it needed gravel, and you could tell that it was going to need a lot more than $3,000 worth of gravel. But that's what we started out with. And there were 4 pink ribbons in the forest. That was marking the 4 corners of the house, the cabin. And an Amish crew came in and built the shell of the home. And then we had to build the interior enough to move in. So that meant having a functioning kitchen and bathroom and at least a bedroom. So yeah, it was all from scratch and all a blessing from God. I mean, it couldn't have happened any better. It had to be His design. It had to be through Him that all of it happened. So yeah, we have a simple cabin in the woods, and it started from nothing. And you know, the Amish said, "You're going to try to live there full time?" And we're wondering why they said that, because we're originally from New York, but not the city. We're country kids. So we lived in farm country in the forest, you know. So we were surprised when they said, "Are you going to try to live there?" I mean, they really didn't think that we knew how, or that we had skills to do that, or that we would be in trouble of some kind. So we were kind of wondering what it was we didn't know about that was going to thwart our plans. But it's had its ups and downs, but primarily 90% of it was doable. There was 10% that, you know, that's the blood, sweat, and tears part, you know, that you say, "Oh my gosh, I'm never going to live through this." But then, of course, you conquer it with God's help, and everything's fine. So yeah, this is quite the story here when you think about it, and inspirational for our kids and their kids. And, you know, that's why I wrote the book, Forest Escape, A Chosen Path, because, you know, it doesn't happen by accident. It's by God's design. and we're following His path for our life. The idea of having a sanctuary place to live is being in the forest and being close to animals and being close to nature and to God, and having quiet time to appreciate everything that has been created and to appreciate the gifts that we have been given. And that quiet time is really, really important, to be separate from society, to be separate from chaos and all the craziness, pressures, any of those things that cause us to forget everything that we should be thankful for, all our blessings. So anything that causes us to forget or to deny spending time with God is really like an idol. I mean, when you think about it, it's something that detracts from spending time with God. So if it's too much stress because of too many bills, owing money for too many things, or being in a hurry and having to fight traffic, or listening to other people arguing or fighting all the time, or spending too many hours at work, all of those things, we wanted to get away from all of that and just have a quiet place. And that is the idea of the forest escape. If you're going to follow God's path for your life, you have to ask Him what the path is, and then you have to listen to the answer. So, yeah. And sometimes it seems like something you can't do, or it seems impossible. I mean, you have to sell everything and use that money to be able to start a new life, and your priorities will change. You no longer care about color coordination, you care about functionality. You don't care about having lots of things, you care about having less things that are very durable, that you buy once in a lifetime and you don't have to replace it. So it's a different way of thinking. So is it hard work? Yeah. Is it worthwhile? Yes, definitely. I wouldn't change a thing. I think that if you overthink things, you'll never do them. So the idea is to do something, even if it's wrong, just get going. Get started, and you can always redo things if you need to. But so many people are afraid that they don't start anything, So we have to put away fear. We're not called to be timid. We're called to be bold. And if God is actually leading the way, then we don't really have anything to fear. We just need to obey and submit. And if we surrender everything in life, then we'll be so happy to see what God has planned for us, because it's actually better than anything we can imagine. So yeah, it's something that you have to have the right mindset for. Be sure to subscribe and like and share with your friends. Have a great day.